How's it going? I'm here with Ryan Funk, and we have so many questions about this last race, Maui to Molokai, happened on July 14th. So let's get to it.
Yeah, so Maui to Molokai, bang, July 14th. It's actually my birthday.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Thank you. 18 years old, so that was already going to be a pretty special day.
Awesome.
But to add Maui to Molokai on the top of it was even better. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, I want to say huge congratulations to anyone that finished the race, and especially Kailani setting a new foil record, 2 hours and
14 minutes.
Yeah, what was it? 2 hours and 17 minutes. Yeah, but I especially want to congrats Connor Baxter, 9 times champ on this race.
It's insane, crazy.
The kids, I think he started when he was like 15.
And he's just back to back.
Yeah, downwind king right there.
Wow, awesome job.
But yeah, so let's get going with the race. So the stand-up started in Honolulu Bay, and then
what time did the stand-up start?
The stand-up started at 9 a.m. and then the foil was actually at 9:30.
So you guys started separately?
Yeah, 30 minutes behind
Why was that?
everyone.
Do you know why?
Well, I think they just wanted to kind of spread out the field a little bit so they could shoot differently. But
how many competitors was in the foil class?
We actually had 4 competitors, so including me. So it was me, Kailani, Tomo actually, and Zane Schweitzer.
Oh, awesome.
So that was actually a pretty cool field list. 3 of the guys were on stand-ups, and then I actually had this crazy idea to take my prone board. Yeah.
Why? What made you decide to go prone instead of stand-up?
Well, we've been doing a bunch of dock starts lately, or step-offs. I know the first guys to do it were actually on Oahu, and then I kind of just started doing some off some docks and home here, Sugar Cove. And I had this idea the morning of. I was like, oh, I mean, why not start off the side of the boat or a rock at Honolulu? So I didn't know we were going to start.
So while all the stand-up guys started in the water, you started on the boat? How did that all play out? How did the lineup work?
Yeah, so I wanted to. We're not really sure what the foil rules are yet, but we actually started out in the wind line, so we had a line, and then it was Kai, Zane, and Tomo on it, and then I was probably about like 50 feet back, 150, 100 feet somewhere
on the boat.
Awesome. On the side of the boat, waiting for the horn to go. So once the race started, off we went, did a dock start, and went on with it. It started at 9:30, so the wind actually wasn't its best. Usually the best downwinding times are probably, I would say, somewhere 12 to 1. That's my favorite time. But this was at 9:30 because I wanted to do the after party. So the wind was a little bit lower in the morning, but as soon as we probably got a couple miles out, the wind started to pick up. I mean, we didn't have huge ocean swells, but we definitely had wind pointing in the right direction,
good bumps thrown in.
Which was the best thing. I mean, it shot down the whole channel exactly to the red buoy.
Awesome.
So yeah, but
so tell me about how in the middle of the race, how were you feeling?
Yeah, so this was a new thing with the prone board because it's never been done before.
Yes.
I think I'm the first person to go across the channel.
Congrats about that.
With no paddle. So I was like, oh, what happens if I do fall? And
Did you fall?
I did end up falling. I fell twice. So I mean, I'm not sure what the rules were, and I knew I had the chance of maybe being disqualified, but I was willing to take that because I mean, it's a new sport, and I have this dream for it, and I just kind of want to see where it would go, you know. So
what happens when you did fall?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a disadvantage because when I did fall, it took me probably like 5 minutes to get to the boat.
So you had to come back to the boat.
Oh, I had to paddle around and then get to the back of the boat, grab my foil up, and then on top of that, my legs were already starting to like kind of get a little bit shaky. So I had to do a dock start off the side of the boat again. So that was hard. I did end up falling one time trying to do that, but luckily I got my dock starts pretty down.
Awesome.
And was able to go on with that.
So you said your legs were getting a little shaky. How was endurance on the foil? How was pumping the whole time?
I mean, it was definitely, I didn't have the paddle to be able to help project me, but I was on a smaller board, so it was all leg power. I mean,
and there was a lot of pumping throughout the whole race.
I mean, there was a lot of pumping throughout the whole race. I've been training super hard by paddle monster Larry Kane, which is been helping me out with my legs, so was super fortunate with getting trainings from him and preparing me for this race.
So many people see you just gliding through, but in fact you are doing a lot of work. You are putting in a lot of pumping.
Yeah.
And so how is training for all this?
I mean, I've been doing a lot. Coming from stand-up racing, which I do stand-up race, we'll train on the stand-ups and do leg workouts, and I'm constantly living on Maui's North Shore and doing Molokai runs, which is right in my backyard.
So you've been doing a lot of down runs previously, getting a
feel like
of
3 times a day from Molokai to the harbor.
Awesome.
Yeah, so been training a lot on the foil. We've been doing prones and dock starts, so was feeling somewhat prepared for the prone board. And yeah, I just thought I'd go with it and see what happened.
So you're feeling all right through the middle of the race. How was the end of the race? Because I know when you're getting to the point, the wind does die off a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to ride those bumps or the wind.
Exactly. Usually the last couple miles are a little bit less windy. This time, sometimes the wind does shoot down the channel, and it goes all the way to the red buoy. And luckily we did have wind. We didn't have much swell, but there was wind to push us all the way down. So once I got, and this was a question in my head too at the beginning of the race. I'm like, oh, what happens? Am I going to make it all the way to the red buoy? And what happens if I can't dock start anymore, you know? I'm going to be on this 4.9 board.
And so did you make it all the way to the finish?
Luckily,
pumping?
I did make it all the way to the red buoy pumping.
Right before.
So
what happened? Did you take the boat in, or what happened?
I tried to milk. I got around the red buoy, and then I tried to milk in. Probably got like 10 feet past it. And then, I'm not sure how long it took. Probably took I'd say somewhere around 10, 15 minutes, somewhere in there. It sure did feel like a long time.
So how did you get in? Did you have to prone paddle, or?
Because I had a prone paddle, so I fell off the foil, and I prone paddled my way in. And
all the way to the finish?
Yeah.
Talked about the race. Do you want to talk about your equipment at all? Like what boards you're riding, what foil?
Because this has actually helped me out in the progression of foiling and what it's become today. So right now I did the channel crossing Maui to Molokai on the 4.9 KT surfboards made by Keith Abul, actually on Maui. And yeah, that worked perfect for the board. It's great for dock starting, how he's making his boards, it's super comfortable, my legs didn't cramp, my feet were good the whole way. But what really made it super easy to cross the channel, or a lot easier I should say, is my foil. I'm riding Armstrong foils by Army Armstrong. He's been making some awesome stuff. For the race I rode the 1600 wing with the 75 mast because I actually thought, with downwinding I usually on stand-up, so I'm using a lot longer of a mast. I'd say somewhere probably around like 85 to 95, you know? Somewhere right around there.
So what made you choose the smaller mast for your race instead of the longer mast?
Because I'd say in flat water, you probably with the smaller mast, it probably pumps a little bit better. You don't want too small of a mast.
Yeah, but of course.
For the race, I actually went with the 75.
The smaller.
The smaller out of the, exactly. So my whole foil was production.
All right.
And yeah, I went for that.
And so I know you rode other foils. How are you liking the Armstrong foils compared to others?
Yeah, there's some other great companies out there.
For sure.
Guaranteed. I know Kai's on some solid stuff. Zane's on some solid stuff. But I'd say the biggest thing with Armstrong is they're willing to try to test and make new foils and go that extra route to find that crazy design that no one's thinking about.
That perfect fit.
Exactly. And I'd say more than half the foils we end up don't working. But there's that small chance that we might get that one that's the next big thing. So I'm super stoked to be working with Armstrong, and I think they're making some solid stuff.
Awesome. So we know you're gonna try to keep doing downwind foiling. Are there any events you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so actually tomorrow is the Poi Bowl race, and we start at Molokai, and we make our way down to the harbor. And I actually think we will be starting in flat water for this one, so I will be riding my stand-up. And my stand-up is made by KT Surfboards on Maui, Keith the Bull. That's a 5'11" by 20. And that's been working amazingly because it allows me to get up in flat water. Yes, when I do stop paddling, it probably does sink up a little bit over past my knees.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I mean, the goal is when you're foiling, the whole time you're up.
You try to be on foil the
whole
whole
time. I mean, that's really the goal. So, and then with my foil, I actually have something new that I'm going to be releasing. So that will be fun. This is my foil for M2O. So maybe I'll use it tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
Sounds like you're really enjoying foiling. Is there anything you want to add?
I mean, yeah. I'm just really having fun with it. I think is the biggest thing because the sport's so new, and I'm so stoked to be actually pioneering it with a lot of the other guys downwinding.
Yeah, there's got to be no other feeling than gliding 27 miles. Correct?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's such a hard sport to explain the feeling of because it's. I mean, it works as an airplane, and you get this feeling of almost riding like a magic carpet, I would say, or flying. But that's why the prone board is so awesome, because you don't see the board, and it really does feel like you're flying for 27 miles. So yeah, just super stoked to be a part of everything happening, and it's only the beginning, so I can't wait to see where it goes in the years to come.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Ryan, and I hope to see you progress and keep going.
Thank you. Loyal to the foil.